So even if you start watching us, I'm again saying welcome everyone. This is the third episode of our Syncast. Today we have Laura, who is intern, who's doing her internship here in Syncro. So welcome, Laura.
Hi, hello.
How are you?
Fine, thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being with us.
Today we are doing our podcast from Zoom because Laura is in Spain now and she's an online intern here. Laura, do you want to tell some things about you to us?
Yeah.
Yes, well, I can tell you that this is also my first time doing a podcast. Actually, the first time doing it online.
Yeah.
So I hope it goes well. I think it's going to be fine. So yes, I'm from Spain. My name is Laura, and I'm doing an internship with Syncro, as you already said. Well, later I think you will discover how I get to know Syncro and what am I doing there. But yes, right now, I wish to be there, but we all know what is going on now in the world with COVID and everything. So I'm very happy that I still got this opportunity to be part of Syncro, even if it's online and with distance.
Yeah, thank you for Syncro that giving that opportunity to interns from abroad, with online technologies we can do. So it's good
yes,
for all of
I don't
us.
know if so many NGOs or many enterprises are willing to do this because it's really a challenge, but I think both parts can have some benefit from this.
Yeah, also making this podcast also hard for us right now. We have a hard job to done. So today we prepared some questions to Laura to inform you about what is what is the NGO internship and little insights of it about it. So if you're ready, we can start and talk about the internship. So please, can you briefly explain us what is the NGO internship? Jen?
Okay, so I can explain you what is an internship with Syncro. NGO, what I can say is that I'm studying international relations, so since the first year I knew that I had to do an internship before I finished my bachelor, and I always thought I was going to do something really more like diplomatic career or business world even. I mean, I'm not a very huge fan of that, but something like that. I didn't really consider the NGO part of it. But then when I grew, I discovered more things, how important is NGOs also for the international society and the big impact they have. So I decided okay, let's be more open-minded and let's see how this works. So Syncro, what I think you already mentioned in other episodes of the podcast, is part of the Erasmus world, just to say, they have Erasmus Plus projects, so they send people and they also get people. So what I do is helping them in the part of receiving people and in the project they actually organize. So that's why I do helping from the distance.
So why you choose Syncro for an NGO?
Okay, so now it's the background, the story.
Yeah.
It's a bit long, but I will try to make it short with not boring you with the details. But last year, 1 year ago, I was looking already for the internship because it's an important part of my bachelor, otherwise I couldn't graduate. And as I told you, I was thinking more maybe an embassy. I applied actually for the embassy in Slovenia. But it didn't happen because of COVID. They weren't willing, as Syncro-is, to give me this opportunity to do it in the distance or even there because of COVID. So I lost that opportunity and I didn't really know what to do. And that was supposed to happen in the last months of last year. So suddenly I had nothing to do those months, just a few classes. So the possibility was to come back home with my family. But I'm very curious. I really want to discover the world. I was in Erasmus already, so staying at home wasn't really a possibility for me. I would rather do another thing, and I always wanted to do a volunteering project, and I never did it before. So I logged in the platform of European Solidarity Corps. I was searching for projects that would fit in those times I had before the exams. I was looking for something of 2 months, and I found the one of Syncro in Zagreb. I was very curious about the Balkans. I've never been in that part of Europe before. Always went in like western part of Europe. So I applied, and they let me go there, and I was being part of the project they do there with another 9 volunteers for 2 months. And then at the end of those 2 months, I don't know if it was a dream or I was talking with another volunteer. I don't really remember how it happened, but I got this idea like, why don't tell them if they could use my help and if I could be an intern with them, because I really enjoy this volunteering work. It was the first project, but I don't think it's going to be the last one. I want to do more once I finish. So I thought, okay, maybe if they want, I can try to do this. And I asked them, and now here I am. This is Syncro.
Welcome again. So, like, what is the duration of your internship? Like, how long it take?
How long it is? So it's supposed to be 3 months. That's the minimum we have to do in my university in Madrid for an internship.
Yeah. Sometimes things that we have to do like opens different channels in our lives. Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
okay. Like, can you briefly mention about your responsibilities as an intern in Syncro, maybe in general?
Okay, I can tell you what I've been doing. So it's 3 months internship, but I've been already working for 1 month. And so far what I've been doing, it's basically like being a support for the volunteers, also taking the advantage that I was already a volunteer before and I know how it works from that side. What are your fears also the first weeks and what problems could you have? So I am basically supporting the volunteers with they have to organize workshops, so I'm in charge of, before they do the workshop, checking their presentation, see if everything is alright, if I think they can include something else that they maybe didn't think about before. Because I remember when I was a volunteer, when they told us that we had to do the workshops, and they were also online because I was also during COVID times, that I was so lost. I didn't know how could I interact with the kids. It changes so much, and I think I would have also appreciated someone telling me, okay, what you're doing is right. Keep on like this, or maybe you could change it. So I'm trying to be that person for the volunteers this month. And the first weeks I was also doing kind of introductions for them, but now that everything is more settled and there's this routine, this is what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think volunteers has need some people like you to like to be inside of them, and just if they need or something, just they are free to ask you. But there are like a lot of things that we are facing with COVID, because we want to travel, we want to go volunteer abroad, we want to do a lot of things, but we cannot do. But I think there are advantages of doing or working something online. Do you think, are there any advantages of being an online intern?
Yes, I mean, being an online intern is way better than being an intern and it's stuck in your life and not being able to develop yourself as a person, as a student, and because not only students, like you learn things, also as a person you continue learning.
Yeah.
So yes, there's advantages. I wish to be there, I really do, because I see things like pictures from the SyncClouds or other events you have there, and I'm so jealous, because especially because I know how it is. I want to do it. But also here, like, it allowed me to continue with my studies until last week. I had the last exam, so I don't think it would have been possible if Syncro would have said, no, you have to be here. So I'm very grateful that they were so flexible with this situation also.
Yeah.
And I could still help them from Spain. So in that sense, yes, I think online it helps you to still do things. And still enjoy the part of meeting people, meeting you now.
Yeah.
Great. So, and also in terms like general internship, because also my friends now from class are doing most of them this kind of internships. I think it's something my generation and our generation has to learn at some point how to deal with this thing. We are lucky because we are like, how do they call it, technological babies. We learn how to do these things, so it's not that easy to adapt maybe. But it's a challenge. But at the same time, also good things. Also, you learn how to organize yourself. It's not the same as strict as being in the office. You have this schedule, you have to do these things. Here it's a bit more relaxed. You have to do things, but you can organize yourself better, I think.
Yeah. So what do you think, Fatma? Should we ask some different or weird questions?
Yeah, maybe? I think we can
Quick
ask some questions.
That'd be nice, please.
But you have to like answer them really quickly, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Matt, go on.
Okay, I should read it because like it's not how can I say normal question. I cannot like just I should read it. Okay. Would you rather know the history of every object you touched, or to be able to talk to animals?
Oh, can you repeat the second question?
That's why I'm reading. Yeah. Would you rather know the history of every object you touched?
Okay.
Or
so like a background if they belong to another person?
Yeah, any kind of object.
Okay.
Or be able to talk to animals.
Oh.
Which one?
Quickly.
I think objects, because this is a popular opinion, but I'm not really an animal person. I mean, I like them, but I don't feel this love connection. So object, I would like to know. Although sometimes it could be a bit dark, but yes, I think I would say that.
I would say the same, probably.
Yeah.
But it is hard to like put it in your mind, all those things, maybe, right? Yeah.
Also, I don't know what will I do like with knowing history of every object. Okay, next question. This is, I think, a bit hard. Would you rather get younger while gaining weight or get older while losing weight?
Oof, I'm scared of future, so I think I would say go younger.
Okay.
Weight, well, it's fine.
Yeah,
fine.
So, the questions was not that hard for you.
I
understand.
It was harder to understand because of the online thing, but
Yeah.
once I do it's fine.
So we are volunteers. We are learning some different kind of things that you had learned before, like before you start your internship. So, but we cannot reach right now your experiences. Like maybe we can just see what you do. But like we want to ask that what is the most different thing that you learned during your internship, like maybe other than volunteers and yeah.
Okay, so what would be the difference from what I did as volunteer now?
The thing that you learned, like the most different thing that you learned, like maybe unique thing, other than being like our experience as a volunteer and maybe other kinds of things in an NGO.
Okay. So I think what I learned, or what I'm learning, and this is still a challenge, is how to make the volunteers, not only the volunteers, also my coordinator of the internship and like everybody working in Syncro, that even if I'm not there, I'm available for them. So like to make them feel that they can, if they have any problem or if they need something, I'm there. I'm willing to help them if I can. But I get it's difficult also for me when I was there. Sometimes I heard names of people that if I don't really see them, I don't know if they are there for me. So I think this is the challenge and something I hope I'm able to do, and that they know if they have any problem or I don't know if to include this or not, or how to handle this kind
maybe you can be a mentor, online mentor in one day.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As you said, like when we graduate from like school, usually people wants to be in big companies, like big things, but there are not a lot of people like you are doing internship in NGOs and this EFC volunteering things. So, what can you say as an advice to people who wants to be an NGO intern?
Well, what I can say is that it's really great because it's another way to, it's not like, oh, but also have an impact and really help. And this is what you said before, now with COVID, it's not as easy as it used to be maybe, to be a volunteer, to travel, but still this is a great opportunity to be still in touch with the international environment. I don't know, speaking English every day so you don't forget about it. Also different cultures, because I knew a bit about Croatian culture because I was there as a volunteer. But even now, here I realized like difference with Spain and also with the new volunteers are completely different nationalities from where the volunteers in my round, in my time when I was there were. So I'm learning also every day. But I think international NGO internship can work. Like I'm from Spain, I'm doing it with Syncro in Croatia, but also people could look for local NGOs and maybe offer them to do an internship and help them because these NGOs are usually very small organizations and they really can really use the help. So it's a great way to keep being in an international environment for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I don't know if it applies to every studio, school, like university career you can do. But for international relations, I think it makes so much sense. So like people like me or political science to really get to know how the different cultures is, not only in the books or how they explain about their political system, whatever, but how really people feel like and also like how things are changing in every country. If something happens, it's so useful to speak with the people and how they feel about it.
Yeah. Totally.
Yes, so it's a good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, also I think sometimes like we are for example, I'm from Turkey and Mert is from Turkey, and our thoughts can be different from like our country's national thoughts. So I think it's exciting to know what people think in Spain, what people think in other countries.
Yes, and I think it's amazing that this kind of opportunities is just not for like Europe countries from the European Union. And the fact that you guys can also do it, it opens your mind so much because I've never been in Turkey, sadly. I wish I want to. But the difference is some things are very similar, I guess. Like if you look at you, look at me, we are just like young people that enjoy these kind of things. But also there's so many differences.
Yeah. That's why we are here and experiencing each other. Yeah. So you've been in here, volunteer here. So we don't differentiate the difference between internship in here in an NGO and in volunteering. We can just carry our knowledge to our country about volunteering, what is volunteering, like what we do. So you can maybe differentiate with your 1 month experience and at the end of your internship maybe. So if for you, like, what is the difference between an internship and volunteering?
Okay.
Is it more serious or?
Exactly. I mean, volunteer I also feel like I have things to do and I should like comply with my responsibilities. Otherwise, you feel also like I'm missing something today that I shouldn't. But internship, also the feeling that some people, not depends, but a little bit, yes, depends on you. And if you miss to do something, then they are not gonna feel as comfortable or something's gonna go wrong. That's also like, yes, more serious feeling. somebody's gonna help me, and somebody's gonna have my back, and everything's gonna go well. And being an intern, I feel like a little bit of that responsibility is on me. Like, if someone feels like they need something, I will be happy to be that person that helps them and solve the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think also it depends on the project because in here in Syncro we are 3 Turkish people and there are 10 changers, and the things that we are doing is very different. Like our project is kind of similar with internship, I think, and the others are doing workshops, seeing class to children, to young people. So
But for your project, it's also a lot about supporting them, right?
Yeah.
Make sure those things can actually happen. And when you're part of the other project, the changers, then it's more like, okay, I know I have to do this thing this day, and then the other thing next week. Organize a thing class, organize a workshop. But then you as supporters, and me, and the people that works for Syncro are the ones that are really making things happen. And if without our help, I think it couldn't be as easy for the others.
Yeah.
Maybe we
So credits for us also.
Yeah. Maybe we earn also some internship DNA here.
Yeah. Also, like the aim of our project is to see how to work in a youth organization. So I think we all and Laura is getting to know how to be a real worker in a youth organization, in an NGO.
So many things you take them for granted, and then once you're in the other side, you can see that not everything maybe it's so easy. Or how things work.
I also have a question because, like, in this kind of projects, this international projects, and people are representing their countries. Like, I'm not Fatma here, I'm just Turkey, or like we're representing. Have you managed to represent your country during your internship, or what do you think about this?
Well, yes, I guess at the end I'm also Laura from Spain, I guess, for you and for the volunteers when I introduced myself. But not as much as when you're a volunteer, I would say. When you're a volunteer, it's what you said, it's your country. Also, in the project I was making this workshop for kids, so obviously I was talking about my culture, and that was the point of my job there, right? But now it's not so much as my country, I think, but about my experience there, and yes, not that much. But I think I can still be helpful. For instance, now there is a volunteer from Spain in the project of change. So at the end of the day, we are exchanging emails in Spanish and helping each other with like ideas. So that's also, you feel closer with people from your country, I guess.
So let's ask a little bit like real questions then. Okay. Also, before the questions, if you want to ask something to Laura, and you can write in comments. Okay. Questions coming. Would you rather to be a first person to explore a planet, or inventor of a drug that cures a deadly disease?
Okay, no, the second one. I think, like, first one sounds very good. I'm like, yes, I want to travel. Of course, I want to discover another planet and be the first one. Why not? But, well, being able to cure the disease.
Yeah, I think the same.
Yeah. But I don't think, I might be creative, but I don't think I have the creativity to make a drug out of nothing. With my studies right now, maybe if I start a new bachelor. So maybe it's more likely the first one. Maybe it's more likely that I would go to a trip to the space, but
But in normal life in world and then other planets, right?
Like, you can never take anything for granted. I never thought I would be in a pandemic, and now here we are. So maybe planets can be a possibility.
Okay. So, you experienced Zagreb, you learned Zagreb, and you have some feelings about it, I think. So, like the pandemic, and sooner or later, we hope that it ends. And after the pandemic, so everyone maybe already planned to go some other places in the world and countries. So, after your experience in Zagreb, do you still like do you still want to come Zagreb, or like do you are you planning to come, maybe leave, or what other kinds of maybe plans? Like,
Okay.
do you have some?
Yes, well, now plans, a lot of them, if they will happen or not,
Yeah.
let's see. But of course, especially because when I was a volunteer there, I was there just for 2 months, and I think they were not the worst months, but October, November, December, Zagreb is cold, it's
Yeah.
dark very
It's
early.
cold now as well, don't worry.
Especially in comparison with the Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit sad sometimes. The volunteers and the project made it much easier, but for me as a very sunny person that enjoys sun and being outside, it was not as good as I think it's gonna be in summer. And I remember I went to split with the other volunteers. At the end of the project, we did this week of traveling a little bit inside Croatia because COVID didn't allow us to go to other countries.
Yeah.
But I was there in the streets of the Split and thinking, oh, I need to come here as well in summer. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, maybe we'll be together. We'll see.
I would like to.
Yeah. I hope we will see Split and other places in Croatia as well.
Yes, now I think it's gonna be amazing months to do that stuff.
Yeah.
If you find some,
Good for me.
Okay, we will.
if you have an opportunity to come, just come, and we are
Okay,
waiting for
and
you.
next year maybe you can join me in the WhatsApp group and organize together.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Also, like from our audiences, there are a lot of questions for you.
Okay.
I think you can answer them now. As you said, since you are about to graduate from the Department of International Relations, do you rather see yourself as an employee in NGO sector or as a politician?
Oh, politician, oh my god, that's too many responsibilities for me.
Okay.
I'm only 21. No, but I want to keep studying. So let's see. Now it's the moment, I guess, where I have to decide what I want to do more, if more like into economics, politics, law, whatever. And this internship has been very useful for that. I think before I didn't really think about it, but now since being a volunteer and not being here, I really would like to spend some more time, especially now that I'm young, I guess, to keep doing kind of these things, if not as volunteer, as an intern, and keep being in this environments of young people, wanting to discover the world and do many activities, like cultures like that. So this is a great opportunity. I wouldn't mind for the whole life, I don't know, but for some years, I would like to keep doing similar things like this.
So you want to continue in NGOs, or do you want to go a long-term volunteering because you will be a new graduate? Maybe it's the best time for you to go.
Yes, I'm planning to take a gap year now before I start the master, whatever the master is about. I didn't decide it yet. So I think I will see if I can do another volunteering. As I said, once you start, I think it's difficult to do it only once if you have a wonderful experience as I had. So maybe now I will continue in this world.
It creates an addiction, right?
Yeah,
we were talking
more volunteering.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
I can be a volunteer for my whole life, really.
It's really like a chocolate. Eat and again and again and again. Everyone, like, we still like, we had also a conversation with changers. Some changers, oh yeah, I will continue for this, maybe a whole life. But it's like maybe because of the first impression that we get, but yeah, still, we still keep the hype.
And I remember when I was a kid, I was saying, I don't know what I want to study when I'm older. I just know that I want to be a Erasmus student. And now that I have already that, I think now my answer could be, oh, I want to be a volunteer all life.
All life volunteering, yes.
All life.
So also, like everything we are doing is changing our lives, and we are gaining a lot of things. What changed in your life after being a NGO intern?
Well, I'm still doing it, so
Okay.
but I would say the opportunity to get to know people from different countries, and you guys from Turkey, like not so much EU countries, which is what I was used to, and also in my class and the university experience, let's say, the Erasmus I did it in Germany, but it was also most European like environment. Some people from America, but not that much. So in these months, I'm getting to know people also from outside Europe or other European countries that are not from the EU.
Yeah.
So that's very nice.
Yeah, last time I asked our coordinator Blanca how many countries can attend these type of projects. We looked at, and there's probably every country can attend those many countries attend those projects, and I really impressed by it's open for everyone. Yeah.
And it's a shame that not many people knows about it, because I'm sure some people wouldn't like to do it. Maybe they feel okay at home, but it's a great opportunity, and for anybody that wants to meet people, especially, it's amazing.
But Turkey, a lot of people wants to join these projects, right?
Really?
Yeah, I think now we are so many pages in Instagram, and these pages are just for like sharing the projects.
And for example, among your group of friends,
No.
Do you know many people that have done this kind of projects?
Yes.
No, in my near no.
Yeah, Blanca told me that one of the projects gets 600 or 700 applications from Turkey.
Yeah, for just one person.
Yeah, so it's our people
Yeah, as I
wants
said,
to join.
it's a really good opportunity, and now everyone is seeing them in social media, Instagram, Facebook, and other kind of social media channels. So that's why I think people are getting to know these projects.
Yeah, no, for me it was a bit different, because from my hometown and even in Madrid, where I studied university, I didn't know that many people that did this. But once I did it, a lot of people asked me, because of what they saw on the social media, whatever, what I shared, they were like, but what is this, Laura? Can you tell us more about it? So I hope it spreads also, because now in Turkey they realize how great the opportunity is.
Yeah. Maybe we can write a project one day and just invite people our country, a lot of people maybe. Maybe you will be I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. As a coordinator maybe, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
If you have any questions, just wrote in the comments, because we are asking to Laura to your questions now. So I want to ask you something as well. Are there any correlation between your feelings about the projects and being international people and about your major? What do you think? Before studying public international relations, did you feel the same things, and what changed?
Okay, so I think I always wanted to be open to other cultures, and that was a difference between me and my friends in my hometown. I would say that they were more like hometown-like, happy with their lives, and that's totally fine. I also love it. But I was very curious, and I always wanted to do other things. And before I did the volunteering, I also part of a folklore group in my hometown, and we used to go to these festivals organized for groups around Europe or even farther away. And then I was 14, something like that, when the first happened. And we went to Germany, and there were groups from other countries, Italy now, Poland, I think, I don't remember. But then it's when I realized I love this environment. I want to do something related to this as a job, as a career. And then it's why I decided to study international relations. But that was my only international experience. And then after the volunteering, it changes so much. Like the fact that you can realize that the similarities are bigger than the differences for me.
Yeah.
Sounds deep, but I think it's true. That really changed my mind.
Excellent.
Yeah. Also, I want to ask you a question as well. Like, what was your parents' or friends' reaction that you said, I will be an NGO intern, like after my public relations major?
So when I told them that I was gonna do the internship,
Yeah.
they were like really happy about it because they saw how volunteering opens you so many opportunities that if you take them, this was wonderful. And other friends of mine that didn't do the volunteering were struggling so much more to find an internship and opportunity. And for me, the fact that I realized maybe this can work and I love it, I'm passionate about this, so why not? So they thought that actually volunteering is not just about having a good time in a country, which is it, it's about it, but also that it's really useful for someone that studies international relations and also other things, I would say, because at the end, life is about friends and connections, so out of everything you can find something interesting for you and for your future.
Yeah.
Have you ever done an internship in Spain? Or this is your first internship?
I've done like summer jobs, things like that, but that's something related to what I've been studying as a major. No, I didn't do anything. The opportunity was this one, and very happy about it.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you because in every country, like the working conditions and the other things are very different. Like, can you compare the conditions in Spain? For example, if you were in Spain, intern in Spain, and here, like, you understand my question?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
The only thing is that I never was an intern in Spain, but I can talk from experience of friends of mine that went down their internship. And what I see the difference is that they are also doing it for NGOs, but their environment is not as international as mine is.
Yes.
For instance. So that's something I really like, and it's great that I didn't just do something random in Spain and have this other opportunity here in Pérez.
Okay.
But then as an intern, I think that's not such a big difference. At the end of the day, we're just doing supporting mainly and learning how to do things.
Yeah. Probably they are working with Spanish coordinators, so that's why.
Like what I meant to keep learning about the differences between Croatia and Spain, because for them they are doing it in Spain, so maybe it's international relations also what they study. So maybe at some point they have also some international partners. But for me, it's like every day dealing with these differences. But it's fun and it's a way to learn. I really like it.
Yeah. Have you ever faced with a different ways of working when you are here? And if so, did they sometimes did they come weird to you? Like anything like
how things work in Croatia?
no, like
in general?
no. The people who you are working with, like you worked with, yeah. Like, did you have any did you see any differences, any way of working differences in any in working working ways? Yeah. Like, did have those things ever come weird to you?
Well, we're not that much because also the people working in Syncro, it's pretty much young people also in touch with this volunteering world. So at the end of the day, I would say that we are all pretty similar persons. But like about times and things like more or less. It's really like in Croatia, you don't have that much break for lunch, for instance, or it's a different thing from Spain. It's a very silly thing. But for me, I'm kind of glad that it's online, so I can also prepare my meals whenever it fits me better, because that could be a change for me to the fact that at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. I would have to be working. Here you have more time for lunch, then relax a bit after lunch, and then you finish late. But then there, your work finishes before, so you can go home and relax. So that would be a difference, I would say.
Okay, a question from our audiences, but I think it's a bit hard to answer. If you had a chance to go abroad right now and work in the NGO sector for next 5 years, would you go? Yeah, would you go? And which country would you choose?
Yes, I will go. That's
Okay.
not difficult at all.
Okay.
And which country? I don't know. I really like Croatia, but I would really like also to be in another country from like Balkans, because as I said, I don't really know that much about that part of Europe, but I'm very curious about it. But anywhere for real. Also Italy, I would love to learn some Italian, I don't know. But yes, I think I would stay in the south part of Europe, maybe Balkans, maybe Italy. But because, as I said before, I really enjoy sunlight and activities outdoors, so I don't know if it would be possible for me to spend 5 years in the north part of Europe.
Yeah. I think we don't have any more questions. And do you want to ask something to us, Laura? And do you want to say something?
Well, yeah, I would like to ask you, like, now that you are in this, are volunteers, but are in this part of more supporting other volunteers as well. Could you see yourself doing something like as an NGO intern out of what I told you how it is about? Also, what are your majors? Because I don't know them, so if you could.
I'm studying tourism management.
Mine is economics.
That's why maybe I can do, because I also love being with international people and also organizing some things. Like it can be a small job, it can be a big job, but I love to do.
And this would be a nice opportunity also for trying, because this is being an intern, it's really a great opportunity for trying something. And if you like it, you could learn a lot, and you can keep doing that thing. And if you see that it's not what you thought it was going to be, or you have a different idea, you can always change and try another internship until you find the right one for you.
Yeah, I think the ones who are curious about NGOs, volunteering things, being an NGO intern is the best option for them.
So, thank you for being with us. It was a great talk, and we learned a lot of things. Maybe we apply for an internship, maybe here, maybe some other place.
I will probably apply.
Thank you for being us again.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I wish you a good 2 months of internship as well. Also for us, like summer is coming. Yeah.
Yes, I think there will be opportunities to meet again during this month.
Yeah, probably.
We want to see here as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Today our talk was about an internship, an online internship, especially in an NGO. We had a great talk with Laura, and also we tried to maybe share something with Laura at the end of the talk. Next week we have another podcast, and it will be our last podcast, the second season's last podcast. But this time we are not being guests. We will be We will be guests. Yeah, we will not be hosts.
Yeah, we will
guests.
change the roles.
Yeah, our other volunteer Bengisu, me and Fatma will be together, and Bruno will be host for us, and we will share our experiences about here and working in an organization, youth organization.
Yeah, also if you want to watch our podcast again, you can look to our YouTube channel, Spotify and Google Podcasts.
Yes.
Then thanks again, Laura, and see you next week, guys.
See you.